Hello everyone, and thanks again for coming back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm just going to give you a little bit of a demo of how to restore your carpet in a vehicle. Specifically here, we're talking about your carpet mats. These particular mats came out of a brand new vehicle that I had. They've just had a little bit of discoloration that's occurred. I actually put rubber mats on top of these for some time to protect them, which in retrospect wasn't probably the most ideal because some of the oils and that sort of thing have leached from those rubber mats onto the surface of this grey carpet, so it's given it a bit of a browny oily colour on it as well. Now I have cleaned these with a carpet cleaner and let them dry for a few days first, and so what we're going to do to do this recolour, it's very straightforward, very simple. Effectively we're going to go from having a carpet that looks like that to, I've done one already, which you can see here, sort of a dark grey finish. That's one I've done about sort of 10 minutes ago. So what we're going to use is a product, this is a DUPLI-COLOR product, this particular one, and it is a vinyl and fabric dye or coating. So you might think of it as paint, but it's more of a dye than a paint. Okay, so it's thinner than a paint because we've got to have a dye here that actually just sticks to the to all the fabric sort of the actual fabric fibers of the carpet. So it's not going to go and sort of all blotch up together like a normal paint would. It will actually sort of just create a dye effect. There's also other products out there. VHT does a similar one. But in this case, they didn't have the VHT nearby where I went to get it, so I've decided to try this DUPLI-COLOR version. Now, a couple of things first. Obviously, you want to be in a relatively well-ventilated area and somewhere with some decent light, which I have. And you probably want to put a mask on too when you do the actual spray. Now, very straightforward. So we'll bring over the mat that I want to spray, this one here. Of course, I've got a little bit of an area here which I have put a bit of protection down here so we don't paint the whole garage or work area that you're in. Now with the can, you want to give it a good shake. I would suggest at least a good 2 to 3 minutes. Just keep on shaking that until to make sure that's all well mixed inside the can, because they sit on the shelf for a long time and they will not be mixed properly when you get it straight off the shelf. Now I would recommend, if you have a little piece of scrap carpet or similar material of some type, do a bit of a spray on that first so you get an idea of what you're going to end up with as a result. Of course, I use something that's a little bit pink here, so that's slightly distorting the colour result that I've got here, but again it gives you an indication of what the texture will be like when you've actually finished the job. So we'll get straight into it. This is the second mat which I've got here, of 4. I'll give it a quick spray and you can just watch me do it. It's all pretty quick and straightforward. I tend to go around the edges first, like you often do with a little paint job, just to get a decent amount around the edgings. Put your mask on too, it's a good idea. The old spray paint material is a relatively toxic substance, so you don't want to breathe in more than you have to. Now I am actually spraying, you'll notice, quite a bit closer to the surface than you would with a normal can of spray paint, because remember what we're dealing with here is a dye. It's much thinner than a normal paint, and we actually want to, we really want to shoot it right deep into the surface of the fibres in the carpet rather than too far away. And what I would recommend, maybe you get about halfway down like this, nice long clean strokes. I recommend you definitely wear rubber gloves. Just give it a light rub over with your rubber gloves once you've done a little bit. You want to do it relatively quickly because the stuff does start to dry fairly quickly. But that just to make sure that we get the dye down into the depths of the fabric nicely. And we'll keep going here. There we go. You can see how quick and easy that was. Very easy. Okay, just make sure if there's any areas that still look a little bit discoloured, pop a little bit more on. You don't want to completely drown it in the area because you don't want too much of the dye to get in there that it'll actually cause the fibres to clump up together too much. Okay, because you can always go over with a second coat as well once it's dried if you feel you need to. But I'm pretty happy with the result that I'm seeing straight out of that. You'll see once again, if I'll put up one of the original mats here, right next to it, so you can compare. That's our original colour there. And you can see the difference there. Quite a substantial difference. That looks a lot cleaner and newer, almost like a brand new carpet. And going back again, that's our original carpet. So I'm going to make a start on this third one. You'll notice here that this one has a little logo in the middle, so I've put a little bit of masking tape, masked out that area that I don't want to get the dye on, and I'm just going to follow the same process. So again, I recommend that. It's not a bad product. Good, quick and easy way to do it. I would recommend once you've done the coatings, put them out, hang them out to dry in a dry area. I'd leave it for a couple of days at least to get the fumes out, because it stinks like most aerosol paints will, and you don't really want too much of that in your car. Okay, here's the results now of re-dyeing these carpets, or these carpet mats. I'm actually quite surprised at how well this actually came out. A little bit of bright sunlight shining directly on these mats now, but you can see, hopefully, and there you've got a fairly nice, consistent, clean, grey carpet finish on that. So you don't have all that patchy, oily sort of browny marks on there any longer. As you'll see, I've taken off the masking around where we had the nice little factory logo there. But yeah, I must say I'm quite impressed. This is only about 10 minutes after doing the spraying and the dyeing, and it's dried very quickly. Rubbing my hands on, it's very dry already, and it hasn't gone all clumpy as if it was like paint or something like that, where all the fibres are stuck together. It feels just like the carpet originally did. I'm very happy with it. I'll show you very quickly, even in the vehicle. If we just whip on over here, I've actually got one of the mats that we've put back into the vehicle here, and you can see, hopefully there, how the mat looks back in the vehicle. I'd actually say it almost looks like factory new. A slight variation in colour from the actual built-in carpet in the vehicle, but that's normal with mats anyway. But now you've got a nice clean grey finish, and as I say, there's no blotchy, oily, light and dark marks on the mat. So yeah, I'd give it a 9.5, 10 out of 10 for this as a product, and I'd highly recommend using it. So once again, thanks again for watching my YouTube channel, and again, do subscribe. Down there, push the big red subscribe button. I've got heaps more interesting videos to come, and I hope this is useful for some of you out there. Thanks very much for watching our channel.